بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Respected brothers and sisters, today inshallah will be I think the third and last session regarding financial advisors, especially during resetting as we already discussed in the last 2 weeks. If you still recall, the last advice that I shared with you last week was do not stop contributing to your 401k or whatever the retirement account might be. I said at that time that retirement account actually is for your best interest, and you do not know when you will be in need for it. You do not know when you will be in need for it. Even before the retirement age, Allah forbids, and something bad might happen to you. You might find yourself physically unable to perform or to work for some reason, car accident, God forbids, whatever the issue might be. And then you will be qualified actually to start receiving a monthly payment from your 401k if you have 401k to start with. But if you do not have, then that's it. So do not stop contributing to your 401k and take full advantage of the match of your employer. Moving on, do not make sudden moves. Do not make sudden moves in investing in the stock market, especially if you have like full access and full authority over your investment. For example, if you have a brokerage account, if you have individual retirement account, if you have a simple investment account, if you have 529 for the higher education of your kids, right? You do have full authority over the account. You can make whatever decision you want. Refrain from making extreme changes to your portfolio just because the financial market or the financial markets are unstable. Okay, because the instability of the stock market is not a definitive factor. Okay, or like a confirmed reason, if you wish, for you to make a sudden change. That instability might last for just a few days, and then everything actually will be back to normal. So if you make a sudden change because of like a very unexpected, weird, unanticipated change, and that change actually is gone and everything actually is back to normal, it will be hard for you like to recover, okay, or to rectify what happened. So the best strategy here actually is not to make any sudden changes or moves in your investment, even if there is any sudden change in the stock market. So the sudden change in the stock market should not push you to make a sudden move, or like or immature, if you wish, decisions on how to invest your money. Investment decisions based on emotion or fear are likely to lose money. So be rational more than emotional when it comes to investing in the stock market. It is better to ignore the day-to-day news and follow a long-term investing plan. Maybe you still remember I said last week your job actually is to choose or to hire the right person to be your wealth manager or your financial advisor. Once you put the right person in the right position, just respectfully step aside and let him do his job. Okay, do not be that nosy individual who just puts his nose in everything, and you want that financial advisor to consult with you, because with all due respect, you are not the right person to consult with. Yes, you are the account holder. Yes, this is your money. This is your financial future. But this actually does not qualify you, okay, to be the authority in this regard. And if you want your financial advisor to refer to you in every single step or every single decision that he or she want to make, then why do not you just jump in and you make your decisions by yourself? So do not do that and just let him do his job. Do not give up on stocks. This is absolutely correct. I'll give you a very practical example. Imagine that you have 100% stock portfolio. no bonds, no derivatives, no futures, no options, nothing whatsoever. Okay, and those stocks that you have are very diverse, are very diverse. Some of them, belong to healthcare, and some belong to IT technology. Some of them software, some of them medicine, some of them transportation, education, engineering, okay, oil and gas, and on and on. Because of the diversity that you have in your portfolio, because of the fact that you are limiting yourself to stocks only, you are in good hands. I assure you that you are in good hands. Because historically speaking, some of the best periods for stock market return have been during this have been during depressing economic time. I mean, this is proven. Like whenever there is a pandemic, whenever there is a recession, the most stable portfolios are the pure stock ones. Okay, practical example nowadays, just to keep it simple. Imagine that you have a portfolio that is 50% 50% healthcare. Okay, whether medicine, whether just healthcare facilities, whatever the sub industry might be, versus 50% oil and gas. Excuse me. Alhamdulillah. So you have 50% oil and gas, and you have 50% healthcare, right? Which one is flourishing and making a very good investment nowadays? Oil and gas? Absolutely no. Oil and gas is just striking down all the way down. While the healthcare investment actually is going up. While the healthcare, because of the pandemic, because of the coronavirus, because of the huge amount of people who are visiting and getting hospitalized and getting healthcare in different healthcare facilities, healthcare facilities or industry is making a lot of money. So that's why I'm saying here, do not give up on stocks. And because of the diversity that you have, if one of those industries is going down, is just collapsing because of whatever pandemic, recession might be, other ones actually might be flourishing and making very good money. Moving on, do not pay high management fees. Do not pay high management fees. High management fees, I would say nowadays maybe 4%. That's the high management fees. 5%, of course, 4% and more. Do not focus on the gross ROA, return on investment. You need to pay attention to the net profit that you make, or the net ROA. Very simple example. If the return on investment, the gross one, is let's say 7%, which is most probably not the case. Okay, just hypothetical example that you make 7% ROA on an annual basis. Okay, if the management fees that you pay now is 4%, it means that the take-home amount, okay, or the net profit, if you wish, is only 3%. 7 minus 4, that's 3. Well, in certain periods of time, the profit care, okay, or the dividend that you make, or whatever you want to call it, went down to all the way to 5%. Well, 5% gross profit minus 3%, okay, or 4% management fees, it means that you are making only 1%, which is nothing. So it does not only matter how much your investment earn, it is also important how much you get to keep after trading costs and fees paid to financial advisors and fund managers. So you need to strike a balance between how much you are making versus how much you are paying to keep that amount, or that percentage of return on investment. Market returns are small or non-existent, in some cases, even 1% or 2% management fees can definitely hurt. Check out offerings from traditionally low-cost fund companies. You can, if you do some thorough research, you can find some companies who are very happy with maybe 2.5 percent management fees. If that is the case and they are efficient enough and they have like a good reviews and good history, good credit, then go ahead and choose one of those traditionally low cost fund companies. And do not follow the herd. Do your own thinking and do not allow yourself to be panicked into taking an action you will regret. Be careful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. That's absolutely correct. One more time. Be fearful when others are greedy. The market is going up. Everybody actually is making money because of investing in a certain industry. Let's say, for example, healthcare nowadays, because of the COVID-19, investment in, or those who have stocks in healthcare actually are making good money, at least like on papers, right? You never know whether or not insurance companies, for example, will be paying those healthcare facilities because of the service that they provided. They might pay, they might not, right? So theoretically speaking, healthcare industry is making money, but in reality, are they really making money? We do not know. See, because again, because of the uncertainty that we are experiencing nowadays, you never know whether or not those insurance companies will be able to pay off whatever they have to pay to the healthcare facilities. So that's why I'm saying here, be careful when others are greedy. If everybody is just striking and trying their best to be in the healthcare investment, do not push too much to be in the healthcare investment. Invest a certain, like a good percentage of your money in the healthcare, but do not put all eggs in that basket. You do not know when this healthcare industry might collapse. And of course, be greedy when others are fearful. It doesn't hurt at all if you designate certain percentage of your portfolio in oil and gas. You do not know when that industry might flourish soon, especially if this pandemic actually is about to be gone, about to be over. For those who have limited income, they might already became so concerned about the premium that they pay for their insurance, the premium that they pay for their insurance, especially if they're like healthy enough and they do not see any immediate benefit of keeping up their health insurance. Well, I disagree. Make sure that you do not compromise your necessary insurance. I'm not saying keep up your full coverage insurance. It might be too costly nowadays. For example, if your premium is $2,000 a month, okay, $2,000 a month for yourself, for your spouse, and for your 4 kids. That's for 6 individuals. And because of the $2,000 you pay monthly as a premium, you are having a very good coverage, like a full coverage, and your deductible is to the minimum. Let's say maybe $250, $500 per person per year, which is wonderful, right? It could be even less. Well, if you want to save money and you cannot afford paying $2,000 premium per month because of the pandemic, because of the recession, I completely understood. Do not over exaggerate, okay, in your reaction by just dropping your insurance completely, because Allah forbids. I mean, you do not know when, where, and for how long you might be in desperate need for that insurance, in which at that time it will be too late because you already forgot your or just dropped your insurance. So just be moderate, and instead of paying $2,000 premium, maybe you can just adjust or just to play with the premium versus the deductible. As I said in the beginning, if you pay $2,000 for yourself, for your spouse, for your 4 kids, okay, and your deductible is only $250 per person, well, maybe you can drop that premium, like buy a new policy where you have to pay only $1,000 for the whole family. Of course, I mean, if you go down from $2,000 premium to $1,000 premium, your deductible will be high. Instead of $250 per person per year, it will jump to $2,000. I would say something is better than nothing. For the time being, The best you can afford for your health insurance is 1,000 premium per month. Well, let it be. Okay, go down from 2,000 to 1,000, but do not forego necessary insurance. Even if you go down to $1,000, you still, at the end of the day, you still actually do have some health insurance. So you can save some money by increasing your car insurance, for example, deductible or home insurance, by reducing your premium, right? When you reduce your premium, you will increase your deductible, right? But you could also be left penniless after a serious emergency. That's absolutely correct. So full coverage is not always necessary, but make sure you are protected in a worst case scenario. That's absolutely correct. Of course, I mean, all what I said about health insurance applies, to car insurance as well. Do not invest in anything that you do not understand. Do not invest in anything you do not understand. As I said, nowadays we have a lot of financial instruments in the stock market. Okay, and the vast majority of us do not know what kind of financial instrument that he or she is investing in. CDS, for example, CDO, different kind of derivatives, right? You do not even know what is the mechanism of those financial instruments. How do they work in the stock market? How do they make money? So my advice here, do not invest in anything that you do not understand. And I would assume that I'm talking to religious, to practicing, to devout Muslims who care so much about the purity and the soundness and the halal of their investment and their money that they make. If you want to be in the safe side, of course you have to avoid bonds. Bonds are not an option to start with, because bond actually is none but an interest-bearing loan. When you hold a $5,000 T-bill or a bond, it means that you have lended the federal government, Uncle Sam, $5,000, and you will be getting your principal back plus, let's say, $500 on top of it. That $500 is none but interest. That $500 is none but interest. Well, you might receive the same. You have a $5,000 worth of investment in stocks only, okay? And those $5,000 worth of stocks brought you $500. If you zoom out and just make a comparison, well, the $5,000 bonds brought me 500, and the $5,000 stocks brought me 500. Is the same. Well, the outcome result is the same, but the mechanism and the level of permissibility, if you wish, is absolutely not the same. When you have a bond, it means that your principal is guaranteed and your profit is guaranteed. In the Islamic finance system, whenever your principal is guaranteed and or your profit is guaranteed, that's unacceptable, because this is a riskless transaction. You are not taking any liability, any risk whatsoever. And that is, by the way, although it's not our topic for today, borrowing money from a bank is not an option for practicing Muslims, because again, the bank is giving you a principal. Okay, by the law of the land, the principal is guaranteed that you have to pay it, otherwise you will be held accountable, responsible for your default. And the interest that you pay on top of that money, okay, is guaranteed as well. So the bank is guaranteeing its principal and its profit. Well, that's an interest-bearing loan. When you have a bond, actually, it is the same scenario, with one difference, that you are the lender while the federal government actually is the borrower. So bonds are not an option. When it comes to derivatives, to be honest with you, we cannot generalize a statement by saying, okay, all derivatives in the market are prohibited, or all options in the market are prohibited. Well, some options actually are okay. And let me take this opportunity to explain to you why I do believe that some of those options are permissible. Here is a stock in the market, belongs to XYZ, belongs to Microsoft. Okay, it is offered in the market for the time being, for today. If you want to buy it, you have to pay $100 per stock. Okay, so far so good. When you buy an option, okay, you have to pay $5. You have to pay $5 to have the right, okay, or to obtain the right of purchasing this stock for $100 from now until the end of July. From now, today is April 14, 2019. You have all the way until July 14, 2020. Okay. If you pay $5 option, it means that you lock the price. That you lock the price on $100 for this particular stock. And this is actually regardless whether the price stays the same, increases or decreases, right? Even if Microsoft stock jumps to $125, you still have the right to buy this particular stock for only $100. Of course, I mean, if the price goes down for some reason, and others can buy it for $85, for example, you don't have to stick to the option that you had, because it is more profitable for you to buy it for $85. But my point here is that, again, from a fiqh perspective, what does it mean to lock the price and pay $5? That's called in the Islamic finance system bay'ul urbun. Bay'ul urbun actually is a kind of down payment to assure the seriousness of the customer, that yes, I want to buy this commodity or this service, okay, or this merchandise or this good, and to show my best interest, okay, and good faith, I am willing to pay $5 in advance. I mean, this is the fiqh interpretation of options. I want you to follow up with me. Okay, this stock is for $100, and it has an option of $5. If you buy the option of $5, you lock the price from now until the end of until mid-July, okay, for $100. It means that you already paid $5 toward those $100 from now. If you change your mind, you're gonna lose the $5, which is fine, because those $5 actually are unrefundable. You will not get them. You will not get them back. But if you decide to proceed, those $5 will be a credit for you. So if you decide to proceed with buying this stock, you have to pay how much? Only $95. Only 90. Why? Because you already paid $5 in advance. This is actually called option. If you want to trade in options, again, as long as option means what I already explained to you now, I do not see any reason behind the impermissibility, okay, of buying options. But let's keep it simple. Do not invest in anything that you do not understand. Derivatives in general, including options, might be confusing for some of us. If and only if you can limit yourself to stocks only, and stocks belong to halal business, stocks belongs to companies where their core business is a halal one, then you need to limit yourself to that. Do not invest in anything that you do not understand. If your advisor or broker cannot adequately explain an investment in a few sentences, maybe it is not for you. As I said at the beginning, this is the third and the last session for this very particular topic, which is financial development or financial advices. During the recession that the whole economy actually is going through. Of course, I have a lot to share with you. Starting next week, inshallah, I will be completely changing the topic and start talking about something else called interest-bearing transactions in the US. So starting next week, I will be talking about the definition of riba, usury interest from a fiqh perspective, haram and halal, different kinds of riba, different levels or categories of riba, and most importantly, what are the interest-bearing transactions in the US finance system to be avoided, and what are those non-interest or interest-free transactions that we practicing Muslims can practice or can get involved safely confidently without having any, like, feeling of guilt that we are committing something wrong. As an introduction for this topic, I would say that the challenge that we are facing here in this society is not the status of riba, whether interest is prohibited or not. Well, everybody knows that Muslims do not deal with interest. Even non-Muslim fellows in this society, they know that practicing Muslims do not deal with interest. This is not the questionable issue. This is unquestionable. The questionable issue here, or the challenge again that we face, is that how to apply the knowledge that we have regarding interest, what's haram and what's halal, what's permissible, what is impermissible on the daily transactions. Because in the real life, in the day-to-day transaction, the daily deals and transactions we are getting involved in, debit card and credit card and student loans and investment loan and retirement accounts and life insurance and liability insurance and different late fees, overdraft charges, and on and on. We have a long list when it comes to contemporary transactions. And under each transaction, there are a lot of tiny details. Credit card, for example, can you do an international transaction? Can you use your credit card for cash withdrawal from any ATM machine? Okay, what would happen if you do not commit to paying the minimum payment during your introductory period, right, or grace period? Is it okay to take a student loan? Well, before you answer, you need to understand what the student loan means, right, and how many categories we have. Do you know that we have subsidized versus unsubsidized loan? Do you know that the subsidized one is an interest-free loan for a certain period of time, while the unsubsidized one is an interest-bearing loan from day one? Again, the challenge that you are facing here is to unlock, if you wish, the secrets of those transactions that we experience on daily basis, and then try to reinterpret them from a fiqh perspective by asking a question: is there any riba involved in this particular transaction or not? If the answer is yes, then it has to be avoided. If the answer is no, then we can confidently proceed with it. Very simple example to think about before I let you go is the mortgage, for example. Okay, when certain individual get involved in mortgaging a house, when you buy a house via mortgage, when you mortgage a house, do you know that this transaction has three parallel transactions are taking place? Do you know that mortgaging a house in the US means there is a sale agreement where you as a customer buy your home from the landlord, and there is a loan agreement because you do not have enough cash money to pay $250,000, $300,000 for your house. That's why you go to a mortgage company and you borrow money. Do you know that this loan is an interest-bearing loan? Do you know that there is a mortgage agreement where the mortgage company puts a lien or they mortgage the property to secure their money, right? So whenever the principal and its interest are paid off completely, you will be receiving your title or your deed of trust. So mortgaging a house encompasses three different transactions: sale agreement, loan agreement, and a mortgage agreement. And each one of those three different transactions has a rule in the Islamic finance system. This is just an example to show you the importance of understanding the mechanism of the US finance system. How does it work? Okay, do we know that mortgage companies trade in the secondary market? Whenever they sign an agreement with you, they turn their turn around next day and sell their product or their contract or that loan to Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. Do you know that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are an interest-based companies, like a semi-federal companies who have been initiated by the federal government to support homeowners, but the whole system actually is a riba one. And examples actually can go on and on. This is, just to show you the importance of understanding the riba from a fiqh perspective, understanding the mechanism of the finance market in the US, and then we can marry those two different experiences: the experience in fiqh and the experience in the market or the industry. You put them together, you come up with a conclusion that a certain, a transaction is permissible. We can proceed with it. A certain transaction is impermissible. It has to be avoided. If you do have any comment or any question, anything in mind for the time being regarding those financial advices that I shared with you today and the last 2 weeks, please go ahead. Otherwise, I'll let you go, inshallah, for this week. And I would love to see you all, inshallah, next week to start our series of interest-bearing transactions in the US. Do we have any comments, any questions? I do not see anything here in the private chat. Live comments. Do you have any, Mimsy, before I leave? Okay, live. Okay, live comments are in the tab, but no questions. Okay, I think we are good for today. I would love to see you all, inshallah, next week to start a new series of interest-bearing transactions in the US. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.